Hello, my healing journey friends. It's Lauren, and I am on my way to pickleball again. I have been having some thoughts and experiences that I really wanted to share with you guys. I've had a very interesting couple of days and very challenging, but I think I kind of made a breakthrough. So this is important stuff that I want to share with you. Because my hope through this channel is that everything that I learn, I'm going to share with you, and you can use, and you don't have to figure it out on your own. You could use it for yourself and get some clues, and hopefully go through this journey faster and easier than I have. Okay, so the last few weeks have been extremely tumultuous, I would say, physically, with my symptoms. My fatigue has been just terrible, and I was doing so much better, and I was so confused when my fatigue was getting worse. It was after this trip to Arizona that I went to, and I've talked about some, maybe a bunch, on this channel so far, because I just gained tremendous healing. But on my, after I got back, I was just, I was racked with exhaustion, sleepy exhaustion, but also physical fatigue. And I was so confused. I've just been so confused as to why that's happening. And, I always go to this pattern of problem solving. What's wrong? What could it be? I'm always looking, and I'm Googling things, and I'm just thinking, and I'm all in my head, and this is my clear pattern. Well, my symptoms seem to just be getting worse and worse. And I was trying everything, and I was just trying to be really easy on my body. Well, over the weekend, they kind of reached a crescendo, and I developed severe anger, like rage, and body odor, not body odor, but just my armpits were starting to smell more than usual. I was needing more deodorant than usual, and those two signs, along with the profound fatigue, all of a sudden it clicked for me. It was my liver. Because I have dealt, and I bet you have too, because the liver congestion is very common, maybe ubiquitous, with adrenal fatigue sufferers in particular. But my guess is that you have struggled with a congested liver, whether you're aware of it or not. Those are just a couple of the signs that are indicators to me that my liver's in trouble. And then I started putting all the pieces back together of the last couple of months, like 3 months, coinciding with when I started trying a very, very small dose of progesterone, bioidentical progesterone. A doctor recommended it, and I just thought it might not work. I was trying to take this new attitude that there's no hope, just healthy hope. Not like I'm holding on to this for dear life, but no, it's just like, this might help, this might not. I'm just gonna try it. So I gave it the 3 months to try, and as I look back, I see, oh my gosh, that's what's been going wrong. It's not the hormonal symptoms, which I did have a lot of that were so bad, but it was the accumulation. It was putting a toll on my liver. That has been burdening my liver, but if you know me, you know that I believe in the energetics having a larger impact on the physical body than the biochemical stuff. So the anger was the biggest indicator to me for the liver, because the anger is really stored in the liver. So when anger came out, that was the big sign. It's like, oh my gosh, liver. But for the first time ever in this entire journey, for the first time, when I realized It was my liver. I wasn't afraid. I didn't confront this new problem with fear. And honestly, it is the first time ever. And I'm not sure I actually knew that. I'm not actually sure that I was aware that I felt fear. And I've talked about this in the last few videos. If you have adrenal fatigue, adrenals are on the kidneys, which is where fear resides. And so if you have adrenal fatigue, chances are you are living in fear from something. And based on my experience, it's something that happened long ago, and it has impacted your entire life. An early wound, an early trauma. And you live in this fear, but you've become so accustomed to it that you don't feel fear anymore. It just feels like the way you deal with life. And that's what has happened here. Every time a new symptom came up, or a worsening of symptoms, or there was some problem where I just felt like crap, and it was all welcomed by fear. And fear is such a constricting emotion. And so what I didn't realize is that when you take in the world with fear and constriction and sort of fight, you're ready to fight because you're afraid, it actually embeds whatever is happening, that emotion, besides the fear, but whatever emotion is happening from an experience that's happening in your life, or whatever physical thing is happening, you actually, it embeds it deeper into you. And this is something I never realized, I never understood until this weekend, when for the first time I confronted it with calm confidence and just feeling like ready. I know what to do for my liver. I know how to help my liver. I can name 5-10 things that I can do starting right now that will not overload my liver. Simple liver exercises, taking milk thistle, drinking lemon water, a bunch of things that I can do to help to support my liver. And this time, I just felt like this is happening. And again, for the first time ever in my life, I actually felt trust. Trust in myself to move through this experience. Trust in the universe and my soul, that whatever I was being confronted with was something that I needed, that was going to help me, that this was happening for me, and I was going to let it move through me. I was just going to let it happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to cope with it. And it was extremely difficult because all of my physical symptoms are just raging and roaring and just screaming at me and debilitating me in a lot of ways. Oh, and the rage was so bad. I just felt like, okay, I'm going to contain this the best I can so that I don't harm the people that I love around me. And then I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust that this is what my body needs to do. It's working. The fact that I have symptoms means that my body is working to expel whatever is in there that it needs to expel, and I'm just going to let it happen. And I'm not going to think. I didn't think. I'm always thinking round and round and round and round. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What does it need? What does it need? Do I need to yell? Do I need to get out the anger? This is my trap. So I've done a video on the trap. This is my trap. It's like I'm always going to problem solving, just stay in the head. This is my safe place. This is where my body has learned that that's where it's safe. And even though I've been aware that that's an issue for me, it is so difficult to repattern when you're in fear. Because when you're in fear, you're triggered. And when you're triggered, you go to your default. it's how the human body works. And you not only have to be really conscious, but you also have to have a different strategy at the ready. And I've never known how to do this. I've gotten so many signs from the universe over the last, I would say, maybe 7 months. But I've had other signs that I need to trust in the universe. Just trust. Let the universe take me. And so I've known this in my head, but that doesn't mean that I could just do it. And I would wonder, do you guys struggle with this? Have you had signs that you need to do something and you know that you need to do it, but I have this urge, I have this pattern of fighting everything. So just do it, okay? So just trust, okay? Will you just trust? Just trust. Lauren, just trust. And I would just would just calm, and I would do practices and meditative practices where I would just sort of try to feel the trust come over me. But there was resistance. There was still some resistance in my body, and I don't know exactly what it is. What it was, I guess it was fear. Fear that if I really let go of the reins, something will happen. I don't know. I need to think deeper on that. But this time, for whatever reason, I was able to do it. I just did it. I just trusted. I just trusted in all those things. And it was I've never felt this feeling before. I felt a sense of calm while I was in it, even though my symptoms were they were so loud and completely controlling my day and the things that I could do, but they weren't controlling my calm. This is the first time this has ever happened. It took 2 days. And then today, I woke up. I was super irritable when I first woke up and I still had my eye mask on. But when I got up and I saw some daylight, I started to feel better. And as the day went on, I still had this sense of peace, except it was way more profound. It was in this all-consuming trust and ease and assurance and confidence in my ability to heal and my ability to do whatever I set my mind to. It was the weirdest experience because I've never had this feeling, and I've been trying to force this feeling to happen for months, years, and all of a sudden it just happened. And after 2 days of allowing these symptoms, allowing and not constricting and forcing and cycling in my head, 2 days, and I'm so much better, which is crazy because I dealt for years with a congested liver, and nothing I did, no amount of lemon water, milk thistle, dandelion root tea, nothing was gonna budge it. Nothing did. Until I started healing the bioenergetic stuff. And what I'm realizing today is that this sense of trust is another step in the process that has to happen at some point. And it's part of the bioenergetic healing. It's not just first you heal the trauma, but after you heal the trauma, at some point your body, mind, spirit recognizes that you are safe and that it is safe, and you don't have to force the safe. And this is what I didn't understand until today. I just wanted to keep pushing. Like, I wanted to open my heart chakra and just push it open, just keep focusing. And there is value to that kind of thing, but that's the only way I've ever known how to do anything. Any challenge that I am faced with, the only way I've known to respond is with fear, constriction, fight, push. I've never known how to just sink into and allow. And I've heard so many people talk about it, but I didn't know how to do it. And I don't think it's possible to do it when trauma and wounds are really embedded at the cellular level, which is what happens in chronic fatigue and adrenal fatigue. I really believe that. Because your body doesn't feel like it's safe. It's always feeling like it's under threat. So how could you possibly trust and let go of the wheel? Let go of the reins. How could you possibly? When your body is constantly getting the message that it's under threat because you haven't healed, because you still have these wounds that are about safety and love. And love is about safety when you're a child, and it infiltrates your entire adulthood if you don't know how to heal it. And I never did. So I have found this experience fascinating, and I want to hold on to it as long as I can, because tomorrow is super busy. It's crazy. We're traveling, and there's a part of me that's a little concerned, like that when life starts happening, because today I was alone to think and contemplate while I worked, and I want to hold on to this feeling and this experience, because I think there's something super profound here, and this might be a big key to the healing process. An important distinction, a helpful distinction for me to talk about this is about, it's push energy versus pull energy. And when you're fighting and you're constricted and you're coming from fear and challenge and like, let's go, it's pushing, you're trying to push something to happen, just push. And that's the only way I've ever known how to face a challenge, how to come up against a challenge. Overcome, fight, you're just gonna push. But there's another option, apparently, that is pull. When you feel pulled to do something, you want to do something from your heart, from your being, from your soul. And that is new, and I would love to know if this resonates for you, if this makes sense to you, and if this happens to you, have you spent a lot of your life or all of your life pushing to make things happen? Do you know how to work from pull, where you're calm and you're solid and you're rooted, and you can hear and listen to the callings? What calls you? What do you actually want? I've been a person who, for much of my life, closed off so much of myself I couldn't even see what I wanted. And people would be very confused by that. They'd give me two options. They'd say, which one do you want? And I would have no clue. I'd say, no, I don't know, either one's fine. I don't care. Either one. Which one do you want? That's how I lived my life, because I was so afraid to give any opinion ever that eventually it got to the point that I couldn't see what I wanted, even if I wanted to. It just wasn't there. It wasn't visible. And it's taken a lot for me to even be able to see now that I do actually have wants and opinions, lots of them actually, and that I can access that information. Is that a pattern for you? Because if it is, it wouldn't be possible to live from a place of pull, where things are pulling you, because you can't be linked to what it is that you actually want. So the difference between need and want, push and pull, constriction and expansion, I mean, all these are sort of seem to be a really key essence of healing and this illness. So I would love to hear what you guys think of this. Please make comments down below and let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything that I've said. Am I crazy? Am I on the right track, do you think? I think I am for me, and I'd love to know if this is helpful to you. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next video.